Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I want to talk a little bit about how to style a bookcase. These past videos I've done more videos on what to purchase as far as basic items for your home, like your carpet, how to do wall treatment, how to do ceiling treatment. And now I want to get into a little bit more about how to style a room so you have an understanding. I wanted to set up the foundation first, so those things actually come before first before you actually start styling your room or designing a room. So today we're going to talk about styling a bookcase. Personally, actually a very difficult thing to do. You think it's easy, but it's not, because with a bookcase it does tend to be a focal point because it's a large piece of item in your room, and if it's not done right, it has a tendency to look either too sparse, too cluttered, or just if not done right, it really does kind of look chintzy. So you want to make sure you're doing it right. There are many ways to do it. I'm going to give you some do's and some don'ts so you have an idea of how to do that. The first thing I want to talk about is, okay, the do's. When you are grouping your bookcase, I hope you can see that. Yes, okay. You want to do it in groups of 3. For some reason, it also works well with landscaping. It works well with creating vignettes along your fireplace mantle or anything like that. Even a centerpiece, for some reason, odd numbers work better than even numbers. So you want to do like group of 3s, as you can see here. It says 1, 2, 3. Space it out. It does give it a really nice look. This is a really pretty styling right here. It's not too much. It's just the right amount of items, and you can see they've put all sorts of different items on each shelf. So keep in mind, again, groups of 3s, not so much pairs. You don't want to put like one thing here and then one thing here, and it just doesn't look as well. So the first do groups of 3s. Okay. Okay. Now, in groups of 3, in each one of these, you're going to see that it kind of, each bookcase picture that I show you, the styling here, kind of fits all the do's in there. And I'll show you some don'ts as well. But on this particular one here, I'm going to talk about scale. So what is scale? Scale is the relatively sizing of each item, okay? So you want to scale approximately with varying different heights. You don't want to line everything up in a row. I have a very weird saying. I have a lot of weird sayings, but my famous one is you don't want to line things up like a duck in a row. Like when you go to those fairs and you're shooting the ducks in a row. You don't want that. You want varying scales of heights here. As you can see, it just gives it a more pleasing look to the eye when it's different scales. So some high ones and some low ones and some in between. So again, it varies the height. I'm not particularly crazy about this particular styling, but it does work because they did give variations of style. And again, it's all prevalent to your taste and how you want to do this. So remember, scale is very important when you're doing a bookcase. Okay, here's the next one. This one, I'm sure you might be able to guess, is about color. You can style a bookcase depending on color. Obviously, this one is orange and white, and I could bet you any amount of money there is probably orange in the room. It has a tendency to give it a nice flow. When you're designing a room and you're introducing a color like this bold one, like orange, or any color in particular, you want to make sure that that color is in 3 different spots, and at least in 3 different areas. Okay, so you'll have 3 different function levels. I know I probably talked about this in my videos on painting, but on color. It always comes down to color. Remember when I said when I did those videos, that is the foundation of any good design, is making sure you're choosing the right colors, and especially the warms and the cool tones. But on this one, this style, this bookcase styling is based on color. So obviously orange and white is the prevalent color theme on this styling here. Okay, now, lots to know when you're styling a bookcase, let me tell you. Okay. You want to use different textures, okay? Made it really easy here. So here is wood, Here is ceramic. Here is glass. And here is wicker. Again, varying textures gives it a much much better interest. It does make this book, the styling, so much more appealing because it's just not, all the same. Even though this one, not this one here, sorry. As you can see on this one, they did add some, but it's not as pleasing as this one, which has a lot more. This one had a lot of ceramic on it, right? It's okay. This is not my favorite, but I wanted to show you this anyways for the height. But this one, again, you can see they did scale at different heights, but I love adding different textures to your bookcase. Feel free to mix and mingle, okay? That's always a good thing. So that's another rule to consider, okay? The next one I want to do is the baskets. All right, baskets are really great for extra storage. And again, what is it doing? It's adding textures. On this one, you can see that they added a lot more, but it still conforms to the rule of 3. So make sure you keep that in mind as well. But this is a really nice look. They've added some books. They've added some baskets are really good to put all your little tchotchkes in there because you don't want to add a lot of tchotchkes in your bookcase style. It tends to clutter the look. It's not something I would recommend. Okay, so don't be afraid to use baskets. Okay, so now we did all the do's. Now I'm going to go on to the don'ts. Okay, I'm sure you're going to recognize this style. Okay, here we go. Don't fill in all the spaces. This is a really good example of really what you're not doing. No, it's not really bad. This is the old libraries. You see these in the movies sometimes, especially 1950 movies. You see that when they walk into the library and they have this, and it's okay. But I find it's not really appealing. It's kind of boring. There's a whole lot of books. And all you avid readers out there, you probably say, well, what's wrong with books? There's nothing wrong with books, but it doesn't add variation. It doesn't have any interest in it. It's kind of boring. I think the only thing they did that was really nice was add this little, oh gosh, sorry about that, is add that little picture right here. Okay, that's about it. Maybe this little centerpiece right here. But imagine if they had change that variation. Maybe some of the books are laying flat, some of them standing up with some vases in between, some plants. I love adding plants to bookcases. Obviously, you may not want to add real plants because, they'll die, but you want to definitely do some variation here. So, and don't feel the need to fill in the spaces. I see this a lot with decorating as well as staging the home. People tend to just overload. Less is more. It's always better to do less than to do more. Okay? So that's the other one. All right. Now, before I had said add some baskets, and baskets are great. And this is a great example of too many baskets. Does it look bad? No, not really. It's okay. But again, you're not varying your textures. You're not varying different variations of items. And so it just, again, it's like the book. It's kind of boring. So again, there's nothing really wrong with this. And for all intents and purposes, this bookcase styling is actually quite nice. But if you changed the items and you added different textures, it would look so much more appealing. So don't be afraid. Bookcase styling is a work of art. It takes time. And you have to be very persistent about it. I know I am very anal when it comes to styling my bookcase. I just go over and over until I get it just right. So don't add too many baskets. Okay? And here's the other one. Too many baskets, too many books. Okay? First of all, it's just boring. It's boring, It's not a lot of variation. They didn't follow the rule of 3. I put too many items of the same thing, which is the books. Not bad, but not great. It can do so much more than that. So don't forget, do not overlook. Now, I'm going to put this down. When you are styling your bookcases, I would recommend that you take all the items and put it next to you and group the items together. So if you're putting books, put all your books together. If you're going to do some plants, put all your plants together. If you're going to do some vases or ceramic or some decor, put all your decors together. Step back and start inserting it into your bookcases. It's a work of art that takes time. So put your books in first, or your bigger items, okay? Put it here, put it there. Again, want to make sure that your eye is traveling all along the bookcase and not just one piece. So you put a book here, you put a book here, you put a book here, and then you start to later, maybe you put some plants here and some plants there, and then you put your decor in, your textures, keeping in mind your rules of three. That's really going to help. And if you want to be a little advantageous, you can hang the wall like I showed you on the other one on the outside of the bookcase. Don't be afraid to put your picture frames in your bookcases as well. Step back. Take a look. How does it look? Is it too cluttered? Is it not visually appealing? Does it have enough texture? Maybe too much texture? Too many items? Step back and keep playing with it. It is a process. Take the stuff out if you don't like this book here, or you don't like that vase there, or whatever it is that's not appealing to you. Take it out, switch it out with something else. Sometimes people put collectibles in it. That's great too, but don't overload. I think that's the most important thing. Keep it visually interesting. Does it look pretty? Okay, that's my theme. Is it aesthetically pleasing to the eye? Because if it's not, step back, pull back, take a look at it, rearrange it until you get it just right. Bookcase styling is an art. It really is. It's an art. I have a love-hate relationship with it. I love the way it looks. I hate doing it because I'm very anal and very picky, especially when I'm staging homes and I see bookcases. I do this. Because now I got to figure out all the accessories that are going to go in there, and I got to bring it with me when I actually stage, and I bring that plus 10 times more just so that I could step back and look at it and make sure it's visually appealing. So I hope this helped. I would love to hear any comments that you have. Just post them below if you have any issues or dilemma, or if there's something that you want me to touch upon in my next video. I welcome it. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next week, everyone, have a great day.